What's up, guys? Jeep and Bubba here, and I'm coming to you with the 2025 events updates. We're in January now in 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. Not a lot of events. I'll go ahead and knock them out for you. So, Lifts and Lockers at Lifts and Loggers, not Lockers. Oh, that's kind of funny though. Lifts and Loggers at Drowned Valley Brewing. That's in Cartersville. January the 19th starts at 12:30. We've gone out there a couple times. I don't think I'll be able to make that particular event, but it's a really nice event if you're in the Cartersville area. We've enjoyed going there a couple times. Great beer, good atmosphere, kind of an overland crowd out there. Good people. And then February 28th through March 1st, I know that's a whiles off, but it's something you want to plan for. It's called the Save Expo. That is going to be an overland event that it's held at a place called The Firm in Stark, Florida. Kind of between Gainesville and Ocala, Florida. It's a good opportunity to go get your Jeep badge at the Ocala National Forest. 4 days of show with camping, and should be a fun little overland event. We're going to be in the Can Cut Drill Bits booth. Andy's not going to be able to make it, but I'll be down there with Christina and myself and the wife and kids, and we're going to have our full overland setup out there camping the whole time. So look forward to seeing you all down there. I know George from Skiles and Bottles has been kind of been to my ear a little bit about going down there, twist my arm, however you want to say it. So we're looking forward to being down there and checking that out. I do have some announcements about the shop that I'd like to go over if you'd let me. So we just hired a new guy. His name is Austin, and he's going to be doing strictly maintenance for us. So as most of you know, we moved into a new shop on 239 East Marino Street. It's right next door to our old shop, right above it. And if you're looking at my old shop, it's to the left. If you're at the old shop, it's to the right. So we kind of share a backyard with one another. And that lower shop we've been doing audio out of, which is kind of an announcement I haven't talked about much. And we do our wheels and tires out of there. But besides that, there's not a mechanic down there full time. So Austin's going to be down there, and he's going to be doing strictly maintenance work. Now, we don't do oil changes. It's part of my lease agreement in this building, both buildings. I got the same landlord in both. But we can do gear oil jobs, brake jobs, spark plugs, your tune-ups, filters, transmission services, transfer case services, brake jobs, any of that regular maintenance that you guys might need. And we're also going to be offering a nut and bolt check. So you go wheeling quite often, we can go through there and check your jam nuts, check your shocks, check all the steering, make sure everything's greased. We'll come up with a price for that for you guys. And like some people will say, it's a 36-point inspection, 48-point inspection. We'll go through there and make sure everything's tightened, torqued, and greased down and topped off. So we're going to be offering that. And it's not that we haven't offered those maintenance services. It's just that we've been booked out. We were booked out last year, usually 3 weeks at a time. Okay, so we'd have work scheduled out for at least 2, 3, 4 weeks out. And if a guy needs a brake job, you can't wait 3 weeks. You need the brake job right now. So Austin's going to be filling that void. I've known Austin about 12 years now. He actually worked with me at a mechanic shop when I was a mechanic. He's been in this industry a long time. He's a great technician. And he is going to be bringing in some awesome assistance in that area. So we're going to probably get back to taking on some harder stuff like engines and transmissions. We're going to expand some of the things that we offer, and Austin's going to be a great help for that. So he's starting February 1st. And on February 1st, we are going to be changing our hours. We're going to be opening at 9 a.m. Right now we open at 9:30. And we're going to close at 6 p.m. Right now we close at 7:30 p.m. The main reason for this is most customers want to get here at 9, not 9:30. But when we stay open till 7:30, we don't want to get here at 9. But what I found when we first opened is a lot of customers like to drop off late. And over the last year or two, I found most customers just want to drop off the day before or in the morning of. So as it changes for our customers, it helps to change for us. And it also gives me and my mechanics an opportunity to get home to our families, see our kids, do that sort of thing. So we're going to change that from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But with that, We do have a way now to lock your key here. If you want to drop off the night before, pick up after hours, we do have a key. We've got cameras now. So we've kind of upgraded a few things, and so that's something we're going to be doing. Also starting February 1st, our shop labor rate's going up to $120. Just being transparent here with having 4 mechanics here, including myself, the new shop and all the expenses we're going to, we got to get to some modern pricing. And we're still going to be cheaper than some other shops out there. We also don't do hidden fees. So there's no tax on labor here. If you ever look at your bills, sometimes mechanic shops charge you tax on labor. That's not legal in the state of Georgia. We don't charge shop fees, so we don't charge for our rags and cleaning materials and things like that. And they do cost us a good bit of money. And so there's a lot of different hidden things that people pad tickets with. So we might be the same labor rate as the Joe Schmo down the street, but somehow our tickets are always a little bit cheaper. That's because it's all cut and dry and it's all very itemized and easy to see. So we're going to keep that rolling. And that's really it for the changes here. We're going to be rock and rolling here at 239 East Marino and 219 East Marino, and we'll have somebody down there most of the time. And also, I touched on audio. My friend Ryan, he is going to be doing audio on Mondays for us. So you're able to schedule whether it's a radio, speaker, subwoofer, amplifier, anything along those lines. On Mondays here at our shop, you'll be able to schedule and get audio work done. I just have to let him know about a week in advance. Hey, I've got a radio coming in, and Ryan's in here doing those for us on Monday. Of course, your warranty is straight through us, and we'll take care of you on that. We're a kicker dealer. We can get a lot of other brands like Stinger. But we're glad to offer those services to you as well. So we're pretty excited about the space we have now. We have a little bit more in our showroom as far as things you can come in and buy. We're going to be getting some new recovery gear in here as well. And just kind of keeping things new and fresh when you come in. There's some cool things to look for. We've added a TV in the showroom. We're running Falcon TV, so you come in and watch off-road races and wrenching videos and stuff like that. So we're glad to have that. We have Wi-Fi now. I mean, it's we're getting fancy around here, so we're excited about that. And the biggest thing for us is this past year, 2024, we grew not only in size of our shop space, but we grew by 50% in sales this year. And we used that money, obviously, to move into a larger shop so we can service our customers faster. I'd like there to only be a week to 2 weeks lead time. And a 2-week lead time is great. And I'll tell you why. It gives us time to order parts and make sure everything's here for you. And the day you come here, we're only working on your vehicle. You're getting attention, and everything's sitting here waiting on you, and you can get it done fast. It's not drop it off and we'll get to it in 2 weeks. It's when you drop it off, we knock it out. And that's the way we like to roll. And it also lets us know, we got a week or two that we've got a paycheck in 2 weeks. We're not wondering. Because in the automotive business, it's all about who walks in the door, who calls us on the phone. We don't have a lot of foot traffic like a Pep Boys or Firestone or something like that. People are coming in for basic services. Most of these are bigger jobs, and it helps us to block out the times ahead of time. So I know some of this might be boring for you, but I just wanted to run over that real quick with you. But our hope and goal is to obviously service people as fast as possible and with the highest quality possible. So I've got a great group of guys I'm working with here. We're upgrading equipment constantly, getting new tools, and I'll touch on a few things, and these tie in with the Jeep and Bubba side of things. So as we have more available funds, the more events that we'd like to get out to, the more we'd like to offer new services and add to our equipment here. And we listen to you guys as customers and know what it is that we hear, what it is you guys want, and we take that in deep consideration because as you know, Blackberry Off-Road and Jeep and Bubba is a community. It's not just a for-profit thing. We're all in this kind of together. I'm out there wheeling side by side with you. It's my passion, your passion, and we want to make sure that we're a part of that community and working together, because it's what we have is not a cheap hobby. Things break, and we want to make sure it's affordable for you and that everything you have is quality and works well. So tomorrow, so right now it's Thursday and you can see the shop's closed. We closed a little early. Tomorrow we're having a snow day. Me and a couple of guys are going to go out and play. this video is getting posted on Friday, so we're probably have already gone out and played in the snow. We might have slid off in a ditch, hit a tree, who knows. That video will come up next week. And then something to look forward to with the Jeep and Bubba channel is that we're doing this Comanche build. If you hop over a couple videos, you'll see that build that I unveiled. So I'm going to run you guys through the timeline of that process a little bit and what to expect video-wise. So I have a really cool story behind this Jeep, and I'm going to be shooting a video of that after the snow video. You'll see that. I'll run you through my whole train of thought. I know I talked about the build, but there's like a kind of a story to this Jeep, and it'll explain why and how we're building it, and it's going to be interesting, I think. So you'll be able to follow along with that. But that's the deal with the Comanche. You're going to be able to follow along. So the next thing we'll be doing, we should have a 2-post lift here in about a week or two, and we're going to put the transmission in the Comanche first, because the biggest thing we got to do is get it running and driving. So it's going to need a new battery, fresh gas, and it's going to need a new AX15, and we're going to pull the old BA10 a Peugeot transmission out of it. It's going to be a manual AX15, a really nice transmission. Once it's on the ground and I'm able to drive it around town, there's some things on the steering that's missing. We've robbed parts off of it over the years, so we're going to have to fix the steering. We're going to have to fix the anti-rock that's on the front. But once it's able to drive around town, we're going to throw an 8 1/4 in the rear. I'm still just trying to decide what we're doing on the front axle, but these are all going to be videos you can follow along. So there'll be a video of us putting that transmission in. It's not going to be a how-to follow us along. It's you guys watching us more from like if you were standing in the shop hanging out with us point of view. And we'll try to make that interesting. It's a different style than I've ever shot on this channel, so that's going to be new. So you'll be able to follow on with that, and then fixing the steering, then putting a new rear end in it, and then the lift that comes with it, and then fenders, and whatever we do, rear bumper, how it's following along. So my plan is by Jeep Beach to have a new lift kit under it, the new transmission in it, the new rear axle in it, maybe some new tires, maybe some new fenders, rear bumper on it, most likely. And then probably by Smoky Mountain, we'll have an interior in it, some exhaust. We're going to put some lighting on it, and hopefully have it painted or wrapped by then. So there's a few things on the interior that we're going to probably wait for after Smoky Mountain, and we'll be taking that into going to SEMA. That's the general gist, and you'll be able to follow that. So there'll at least be one video a month from between now and SEMA, and you can follow this build all the way along. I think that's something that I realized this year at SEMA was there's a lot of different builds where you're able to follow it the whole time, and there was people there at SEMA who had watched these builds, and it was cool for them to see them in person. But I know not all of you can go to SEMA. That's why we want to go to some local shows that people can actually come and see it and not have to travel to Las Vegas and be a part of it. And then at the end of the build, at the end of next year, we're going to sell it. So it's going to be available for you guys to purchase. I know there's been some comments in the videos, hey, let me know. I'd like to be the first one to buy it. And I think it'll be at a pretty reasonable price. And then I've got a plan for 2026 on a new build. So all that's already in motion. And so as far as what you've heard, we'll be at Save Expo, Jeep Beach, and Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. I love your comments for other events that you'd like to see us at. Of course, we'll be at SEMA. And then I'm chasing some badges as well this year. I think we're going to run up the Northeast coast and try to get some badges. So it's a lot to do. It's expensive. I've got to plan it with the family and school, summer break, the shop schedule, but we're going to try to do it all. And one last announcement of something we're bringing back is the Jeep and Bubba podcast. I've got some new equipment here. Not that that's why I haven't been doing it, but I've got a new set of headphones, a new microphone. So we're going to be bringing a little bit higher quality than what I've been bringing in the past. So what I'm going to be doing, I'll try to explain this in the simplest way possible. What I'm going to be doing is twice a month recording a podcast. And I'd like to do it every week, but I have to do this update video at 7:21 at night because it's the first time I've had a moment of quiet in the shop, and so that's what it's going to take is me coming after work, staying a little later and recording them. So I think every other week would be great. So what I'd like to do is 24 podcasts for the year. 12 of those what I'd like to do is interview people in the industry. And I've already got 3 or 4 in my brain lined up. And I'd like you guys leave some comments. Who else you'd like me to hear me potentially interview? We're going to be using some technology that S3 Magazine uses. I believe it's called River Street. And what it allows us to do is film a higher quality video where you can see me, see them, and then I can clip those clips and put them on TikTok, Instagram, that sort of thing. And I also strip the audio, and you can listen on Spotify or iTunes or whatever you listen to, whatever Apple's is, or whatever you listen to your podcast on if you listen to podcasts. But you'll also see a visual version of that. And I'm not going to use those as my Friday videos. They're going to get sprinkled in during the week. So probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And then my other 12 videos, I've got an idea for just a solo podcast for me where I'd like to cover some things I can't normally cover in a short post or in a short video or in a YouTube video, where we have a little bit more of a longer format to talk about. So I think it'd be cool if I covered a couple different topics in industry news. I already do this on TikTok for S3 Magazine, where we talk about off-road industry news. So I'm fascinated with it. I keep up with it. I work in it. So I get people talk to me about it. And so I have a little insight. And so I'm going to share that news, whether it's, the CEO, we have a new CEO at Jeep, or they're bringing the automatic back this year in the V6. They were only going to have a manual, and that sort of thing. We'll talk Jeep, off-road, overland. I'll talk about the whole industry, and 3 or 4 little nice, tight little news clips that I see that I think might bring you guys some value. There's also this thing I've been thinking about, and it's things I wish you knew. And these might be things like, hey, when you're recovering, I wish people knew you should do this, this, this. Or it might be like, there's some things I think about here at the shop where, like, let me try to give you guys a for instance. People come in a lot, and this is not me complaining. People come in a lot and say, you know what you ought to do? And they proceed to tell me, like, you should have 2 lifts in here. You should get another shop down in Florida. You should be doing this. You should be... Yeah, I've thought of that too. It just takes money and time, But it's not going to be like, what grinds my gears, whatever. I'd love for you guys to take one perspective of my daily life that maybe you guys have never thought about before. And maybe it can give you some perspective. And be like, this is why he does that, or this is why he does it this way. Like, for instance, I would love to hire someone to follow me around on trails so I can give you higher quality videos, or I'd love to make higher quality YouTube videos. Now, over the years, I have gotten better, and I've gotten better equipment. I've added a drone. I've added a better camera. I've gotten a little bit better at editing. However, I still don't have the greatest editing skills. And so this is just for instance, but I could sit there and tell you the for instances of, like, this is why I do certain things this way. And you might have always wondered it. And I've already got a list of maybe like 5 or 6 that in a book right here that, like, I keep these little books, like, and little smaller ones in my back pocket. And I write down stuff all the time. I write down stuff on scrap paper all the time. I'm like, these are little things that are in my brain. I got to get them out, and I write them down. So I'm just going to go over some of those things with you as well. And they won't be like these videos where I just tell you about events and updates, whatever. It's going to be interesting things that you can think on and relate. And I've got a couple other topics that I don't think I've ever really covered. And I want to do, like, where there's 4 different segments where it's like maybe news, something I'd like for you guys to know, maybe a technical thing that I'm talking about where and there's a couple I have written down, and of course the notepad that I have them all in. Well, let's see if I can do this. It's sitting underneath the coffee cup that this is resting on. Okay, yeah, like I said, a little field notes thing here. Let's see if I can find this real quick without wasting you guys' time. But the point is, that will be what the other podcast is going to be about. It's just me going through it'll be me solo talking about a couple things and going over a couple different topics, and that'll also be on video and audio and snippets of that on different things. It's not in this book, I guess, but I've got like 3 of these. It doesn't matter, but you'll see it. It'll be coming up. So the podcast is coming back. I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more on all my social media. So for instance, I post on LinkedIn as Bradley Powell Co-Run. I post more of my business related things. I think that might be one thing I'd like to talk about is business. Because I've been self-employed now for 7 years, and I've been self-employed a couple other times in my life. My dad was self-employed for 31 years or 30 odd years. My grandpa was self-employed 40 years. My mom. I come from that entrepreneurial background. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. I think maybe I was going to talk about products. That was one thing where I take like, this is the pocket knife I carry with me everywhere. This is the flashlight or blah, blah, blah. And kind of tell you why. Not trying to sell you on it, but just tell you like, hey, this is a piece of my kit that I always need to have and carry on me. I think that was one thing I thought about as well. So I also post on TikTok. I talked about LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, of course. And what I'm trying to do is get some more followers on all of those things. And it's not my goal to get Instagram or YouTube famous or any of those kind of things. But I was talking to Wool 8S3 magazine. Me and him have both been at this game for quite a while. And it would be nice if we had a little bit more attention to what we're doing, because we have done some really, really neat things over the last 5-6 years that a lot of you know about, but a lot of people outside of the Southeast or in our little 5,000 follower groups know about. And we'd love to get some more attention because it opens the door potentially for sponsors or other companies that haven't heard of us or know about us, or it kind of helps us. Like what's been really cool with InPower Lighting is that we've been able to work with them, and it's opened the door for us to meet new people and to network. We've done events with Yokohama Tire, and I got to meet new people and go to new places and go out to Moab. And like the more these doors open, it's really, really a neat thing. Funny thing is, Silver Dollar Lee's calling me right now, but I'm not going to hang up this video. And I would like to mention, we only had 2 events. Me and Lee are planning a night ride. It's going to probably happen end of January, early February. And I'm also teaching a recovery class for a Bronco group one weekend in February. And I don't know if you guys know that, but you can hire me out. I do charge by the hour, whether it's as a trail guide or to teach classes. I only do that maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, but I am available to do that, and I usually really enjoy that. And I hate that I even have to charge, but my time is worth something, time and knowledge, and I could be just wheeling on my own, or I could be hanging out with family. And I'll end with this. I do want to touch on it. It's one thing I didn't like about last year, and I loved a lot of what happened last year. We did a lot of great things with you guys, and with the channel. But one thing I really didn't like was we did a lot of events, whether it was Jeep nights or whether it was local events or bigger events, or whatever. And I just did not wheel as much as I wanted to. And then I feel bad when I go wheel with just myself or a couple buddies. I get text messages, "Hey, no invite," or "Hey, why didn't you let me know?" Or I have tons of people tell me, "I'd love to wheel with you one day," and I'd like to wheel with you too. But there is an enjoyment when I can go out with just me, my wife, and kids, or me and my good friends, just a couple of us, and just not worry about being Jeep and Bubba, or not worry about answering a ton of questions about Jeeps or off-road or whatever. Just enjoy the actual experience, because that's what's fun for me. And then there's also fun in taking a large group out, and it's usually exposing newbies to trail riding, and it's fun to watch them have a good time. And I've had people come up to me and say, "I've never even put it in four-wheel drive before tonight. That was awesome. So thank you for having that." So we're going to keep that going. But, I think it would be better for us to hit more big, like let's say 4 big events for the year, and then to have a little less of the Jeep nights, but have them, but to try to get more people out to them, right? So like maybe if Silver Dollar Lee does one week, I won't do one till like 3 weeks out. If I see Notorious Jeep Club or Scottles has one the following week, really space them out, because it was going there where it was like every single week we were doing a Jeep night, and I kind of enjoyed looking forward to those, but like I have to leave work early. It's a night where we're rushing the kids home to get ready for school, and then we do these events on weekends. Like I got 4 weekends a month. I do need to spend time taking care of my house. I do need to spend time with my family. I do have roles at the church I attend that I've been going since I was a little kid. I actually song lead at church. I'm an usher at church, and we have leadership weekends and we have campouts, and we have different church events that I commit to and go to as well. So like keeping up with my business, which my business has literally been an infant for the last 3-4 years, and it's finally getting to that toddler stage, but I'm still constantly having to hover parent, make sure everything's taken care of, and make sure we don't go under. And we get to breathe a little bit better now that we've had such a good year, and that's all thanks to you guys, because it's mostly word of mouth, and I appreciate that so much. But the way I want to give back and continue to be a part of this community is to make really, really good, interesting content that you guys actually want, and then have events that you guys actually want to go to. I'm not just doing it to do it, you know what I mean? I want you guys to want to be there, or I want you guys to enjoy it. And if it's not working, or if it's not the format that you guys like, let me know, because I am here to make it enjoyable and fun, because that's what it's all about. Jeeps are fun. They're a source of enjoyment and freedom, and so I'm just trying to give you guys my best, you know what I mean? And the beginning of the year is a great time to stop and think about what we've done. And I think last year kind of got out of hand and snowballed for a while, and it was just event, thing. I mean, I guess you guys probably wouldn't know, but like there in any given month, I could potentially do 4 Jeep nights, maybe two events on the weekend, whether it's like a Skulls and Bottles, Lifter Loggers, and then have a group ride that weekend, and then maybe have 1 weekend off. And all I can do is like cut my grass, trim my hedges, get all the stuff taken care of, change the oil in the vehicles, and it's like I never stop and get things reorganized and restructured, and then it's just run and gun. And I kind of like living that way, but there are times where I'm like, I need to stop and like go through my camping. My attic, I could start an REI. I've got so much camping gear, and most of it's duplicates of this and that. And so anyways, I'm going off here, but this is what I want to bring in the podcast, where I can share more of these things, and we have a more longer format where we can go over some of that stuff and talk about it. And what I think would be cool is when I bring those podcasts to YouTube, then you guys can leave the comments, and we can make it interactive and go back and forth. And that's what's so much fun, because there's guys like my buddy Frank who comments on every one of these videos, and I love it, and it gives me something to talk to him back about. I love responding to the comments and talking to him, off the internet and on the phone or whatever. And I've got friends that only exist because of YouTube and social media, and they become lifelong friends, and we enjoy riding together. And so we look forward to having many, many more years of this. I just want to make sure we're doing it in the best way possible. And that's, bringing higher quality videos, higher quality audio, the best service we can at Black Bear, and showing up at the things you want to see us at. It seems like this last month or so, and it is the season, but it's just like charity. And we've donated where we could. We've showed up when we can. And sometimes it's a little bit of a strain, but we do it, and we're grateful we have those opportunities. We just need to make sure that we're using our time very wisely, because it's so limited and life goes so fast now. And so we're just making sure that we, are making the best we can with it. And we do want to get back to the trail cleanups. We didn't do as many as I'd like last year, but again, it's like, if I got one going every month, there's only 3 weekends left. And then if we go to a Scottles, or we do a Jeep night, or we do a group, my rule has always been, as a husband, as a father, is like, I'll do one weekend for myself wheeling, one for the company wheeling or doing an event, 1 weekend for the family, and 1 weekend to take care of the house. And this past year, I think it was 4 weekends of doing something for the business on the weekends. And there is a difference to me between business, wheeling and off-roading and events, even if I get to enjoy it, which I honestly almost always do, versus me just going and personally getting to go out and ride. And that's what built this channel, honestly, was the personal rides. And that's where I can take a little bit more time and film and like give you those experiences. But now I want to sprinkle in everything all together, the whole lifestyle documented on top of sharing more of our builds here. And that starts with a Comanche. So I hope you guys have an awesome 2025 plan. If we can help in any way, please let us know. Leave your comments, please, because it helps a lot. And stay tuned for that podcast. Hopefully we survive the winter wheeling tomorrow so we can keep this content coming your way. And eat your prunes. I'm Jeep and Bubba. We'll be seeing you.